Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I have a tutorial video for you today on how to edit farm IDs on a map. This is for those that are a little more advanced in modding, but this will help you get to that point if you don't know what you're doing with Giants Editor. That is a prerequisite in here. You need Giants Editor to do this. Alright, so we're going to work on Bucks County today. This is the version that came out today, Tuesday, December 15th, 2020. And it's got some stuff that needs to be changed, we'll say, for my liking at least. So what we're going to do to get to that point, to bring it into Giants Editor, we're going to open the Bucks County map after I unzip it. And go into the Maps folder, and then the Map US i3D file. This is the one that you want. So you just open it. I have 3 different versions of Giants Editor on here. 6.05 is for FS15, 7.1 is for FS17. I want the 8.22. That one's for FS19. The other versions will not work. It will not load the mods. So click OK on the 8.22 version. 8.2.2, I should say. Now, depending on your computer specs, this can take a little while to load a map i3D file. If it's a 4x map, it'll take longer. 16x map, even longer than that. So just keep that in mind. It'll take a little time. The more RAM you have, the faster it'll run. GPU does play a toll. The GPU does play a part in it. All right. So the first thing I want to do is over here. I have the terrain editing attribute or pane over here. If you don't have that, you can come up here to the window menu here and select the terrain editing. And that'll bring it up. You can place it over here. It usually brings it over to the left-hand side. I like it on the right-hand side. That's what I'm used to. So what I'm going to do here, you see the info layer here. Right now it's on the tip collision. You don't want that. You want the Farmland ID here. So you go on there, go to there. So right now, it's showing a layer value here of 1, and you have a bunch of them here. All the way up to 255. That's technically 256 layers. But if you select them in the drop-down menu here, it will not change it. You have to use the numbers down here. So if you have none selected, it'll be 0. If you click the 0, that'll change it to 1, and you can see it right here. It'll change. If you want to number 2, you go click the 0, and then click the 1, and it brings it up to 2. If you want 3, you click the 0, so on and so forth. If you want 4, you go to 2. So the one that we're going to look at right now, what I'm going to look at here, I'm going to go up here to the blue icon up in the top menu bar here. It's the terrain info layer paint mode. I'm going to click that and it'll change the map. See what the colors here? Those are different IDs. So we're going to try to find this section right here where these houses are. That's what I want to change. So we'll go to number 1. That brings up the main farmyard here. Okay. If I want to add it into that one, I can, which I probably will. Because as you can see, here I'll move the camera around a little bit. And I'll select that again. As you can see, that it's quite a big area here. I want to double check to make sure that is the right area that I want to do. I do apologize if it's a little jumpy. Let's see here. Doesn't seem like the right one. Oh, I think it is. I'm just at the wrong angle. It's been a little while since I've done this. So I'm going to go from top view down. So we're going to select Farm ID 1. I'm going to hit the info layer again. And you can see this whole area here. Okay, so I'm going to change the brush size. I have it set to 2000 because I was working on another map the other day. And it will save the radius size of your brush. So basically, see, you can see the red outline there. But basically, what we're going to be doing is painting that in. Now I want to deselect that again to see how far I want to go as close to this field here. And what I did on another one is I actually, on another edit, I added this field here into the main farmyard as well. But I may not do that here, just so that you can buy that separate, so you don't have to have it if you don't want to. I think I'll do it separately. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go down Farmland. I still have it on ID 1, which is technically ID 2. If you put it to 0 and you paint a part of the map, that will put it into a non-buyable section. So you could use that for, say, your sell points or your roads if you don't want your roads to be bought. That'll help save you from actually. It'll save you some headaches, but it'll create more. So if you say have a plow that's set to create fields, and then you plow up a road, whether it's a painted road or a road like this map has, which is a placeable road. I could click that section there, and you can see all these markers in here that signifies that that's a placeable road there. If you happen to drop the plow in there, or a planter or a seeder if it's already plowed, you'll have crops growing through the road, and you can't do anything about it if you don't have access to that. So we're not going to worry about that right now. What we're going to do, we're going to go back into the info layer painting. I want to select ID 1, and you see how it turns white. That's the color that is the current ID that you're on. So we're going to put all these houses here into that main farm ID. So you can do a square, but with this map, it's best to do the circle. There's two different types. It's just like doing terrain editing in game. See if I select the square. Actually, this square here is actually going to be about perfect. Some maps are tilted just enough to where the square isn't going to be symmetrical with some other areas, so you will have to use the circle. So now I want to change this yellowish tannish area to white. So once I click the left mouse button, see how that section turned white? That section there is now part of the main farmyard. And if I go ahead and paint the rest of that section there, we'll be good. That'll all be in there. And my tip here for doing something like this is I always extend just a little bit into the road because you can't see underneath that road. This makes sure that all the grass that's along there can be mowed if I happen to mow any of this. That's just my personal preference. You don't have to do it that way. It's just whatever you feel like you want to do. So I am painting all of this, and I'm going over everything here in that section that was not part of the main farmyard. So getting down to this little section down here, I want to go with smaller brush, so I don't start painting in on this triangle area here. I don't necessarily need that area there. So I'm going to go ahead and paint this down like that. Now I can bring it back up. I got my border now, basically a headland in painting. So I think this little area here needs to be notched back just a little bit. I don't believe I have any issues with running into the field there. I believe that's field 18. I might. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find which ID that one is. We don't need to worry about the foliage layer painting right now. So let's try that. Okay, it's not ID 2, not ID 3. That you can see it changes there. 4. It changes to another field up there. I believe it's ID number 18, but I'm not 100% certain on that. It's been a little while since I've done my own edit on this map, so I don't remember. So we are going to find which one it is. Okay, so it's field ID number 9. So the reason I want to find it is because I went just a little bit too far on the painting of this section right down in here where the bushes and the trees are. Not too far. Actually, it looks all right. Okay. Now, I notice another section down over here. These houses here. Okay, you can see that they're different ID. What I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to put it into the main farmyard area there. See, I'm close enough now I can see where the field 18 is. I believe that's the field number there. We're going to go to ID number 1. I'm just going to go like that. And I basically make an outline of the field itself. And I'm just going to paint it in. I'm going to get out of the painting mode here, just so I can go up a little farther so that the trees unrender, as I call it, so that I can paint a little bit in here. Move it off just a little bit. And there. Now those two sections are part of the main farmyard now. So that when you start up in the game, if you have this farmyard here, this little area here of the houses are part of that farmyard now, and so are these here. Now, take into account that if you edit the i3D file with the painting the farmland IDs, you will need a new game save. Most any edits of an i3D file, you will need a new game save, I have found. Otherwise, the changes do not stick. Okay, so I'm going to go back into the painting area. You can see a lot over here, too. I'm going to add that area in as well. It's pretty self-explanatory now at this point if you've watched the whole video all the way through so far. But we're going to do some... Oh, yes, right here. And I will show you here in just a minute if you go too far. So you get just a little rambunctious and paint into a field. Since I know what ID that one is, I'm going to show you that. So we're going to go into here. Say you're painting right in here if you're making a different ID. If I wanted to, I can make all of the main farmyard ID into what field 18 is. Or I can bring field 18 into the main farm ID. Anyway, what we're doing here, oh, I goofed. Okay, not a problem. So I know it's ID number 9. So I want to click 3 and the 0. See how this one turns into white now. I'm going to switch to a square so that I can keep this as straight as possible. Now, you don't have to be exactly perfect if you don't want to. I try to be, otherwise my OCD says, hey, you got a problem there. But it's just as simple as repainting the area if you go over. It happens to the best of us. It's nothing to fret about. Okay, so we have an area here. It's all of these trees around this field, which I believe is 13, maybe 17, I don't remember. Yeah, this little area here. Okay, so a lot of times I like to make a field, I like to square a field off. So like with this field here, with the island of trees here, I take the trees out and I plow that area up. Sometimes I'll smooth it off too. And same with this little finger that comes off right here of trees. I like to square it off here, but see where this red part here comes in? You can't quite square it off between the two sections. See, if you want to go from here to here, you really can't. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get kind of close, like that. And then I'm going to find ID for this field, which should be our main farmyard ID. And it is. Okay. So we're going to go like this. And I'm going to use the circle for this. All right. So I'm going to go from right there where the tip of that one is, right there. Go up a little bit. And I'm going to go like this. We're going to take this little part out. So if you want to square this off and take these trees out, you can have a straighter line there. Okay. Then if you want to take this whole red area, all of it, and make it part of the farmyard, you can. So if you want to extend this field even farther, I mean, if you really wanted to, you can paint the entire map as the same ID. So see, this is a pretty big area now for your main farmyard ID. If you really wanted to, you could paint the entire map, and you can start off with the entire map in New Farmer. Or you don't have to, and then pay for the entire map when you buy the farmyard, if you wanted to do that. I would not recommend that, though, because if you own the entire map, you won't get any missions. So if you're going for missions on fields, or contracts, I'm sorry, then you will want to leave different IDs. That's how the game can tell that there's different fields. And in another video that will be coming soon, I will show you exactly what the field dimensions look like and how the workers know when to stop. And that kind of coincides a little bit with the farmland ID in a way. But yeah, that's how you edit the farmland IDs. If you have any questions, you can post comments down in the comment section. This is J Turk Gaming. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.